The universe is a deadly place. At every opportunity, it's trying to kill us.
Some planets don't want you to live. They don't kill you slowly. They crush you, melt you, shred you, instantly. But these worlds are real, and scientists have seen them. What if the universe isn't quiet? What if every star hides a world that could kill you in a different way? And what if Earth-like was never a promise? Just a cosmic joke we haven't finished understanding yet. Astronomers call it Kepler 277b, twice Earth's size, 90 times heavier. Imagine stepping off your ship and taking one breath, then collapsing. Your chest caves in, your muscles seize. The planet beneath you feels alive, like it's trying to drag your bones straight into its core. You can't lift your arm, you can't even hold your head up. Every heartbeat feels like it's pushing against a wall. The ground pulls harder than anything you've ever known, until your body just gives out. That's what it would feel like to stand on a super Earth, a world that makes our planet look like a feather floating beside a black hole. Among them, there's one that stands out, Kepler 277b. Roughly twice the size of Earth, but 92 times more massive, it's one of the densest exoplanets ever found.
The radius 2 times the radius of the Earth and weighs 8 times the mass of the Earth, which puts it in the regime of closer to rocky planets.
Scientists say its surface gravity is about 7 times stronger than ours. If you weigh 70 kilograms here, you'd feel like you weighed almost 500 there. Your skeleton would shatter almost instantly. Your heart, built for 1G life, would be crushed trying to pump blood through that kind of pressure. Even in a high-tech exosuit, your organs would give out. You wouldn't just fall, you'd sink into your own weight. We're built for Earth's pull, that gentle 9.8 meters per second squared that shapes every system in our bodies. Our bones, our blood, our balance, all calibrated for that single number. Change it, even slightly, and everything starts to fail. Double it, and you can barely stand. Triple it, and blood stops reaching your brain. Multiply it by 6 or 7, and your lungs can't expand, your heart can't fight back. The body doesn't just suffer, it gives up. Even if machines could keep you alive, the mind wouldn't hold. Every step would feel like wading through invisible tar. Your chest would always ache. Sleep would bring no rest. You'd wake up tired, sore, angry at the planet for existing. And the planet would feel like it's rejecting you. Worlds like Kepler 277b aren't built by chance. They form close to their stars, where heat strips away lighter gases and only heavy metals remain. What's left is an iron giant, an orbiting anvil that crushes everything, from air to mountains. Scientists study these monsters not because we can live there, but because they remind us how fragile our definition of Earth-like really is. Sometimes a planet can look familiar from light years away and still be completely hostile up close. If you somehow landed there, your ship would groan before your feet even touched the ground. Every sound would bend under pressure. Every breath would feel like defiance. You'd last seconds before your body stopped remembering how to live. Scientists estimate Kepler 277b has Earth gravity, enough to crush your lungs instantly. We spend so much time searching for new Earths, but most of what we find are mirrors with cracks, worlds that look right until you get close enough to die on them. On some planets, you can't stand up. On Kepler 277b, gravity doesn't hold you down. It buries you. If the worlds of crushing gravity would break your body, these next ones would burn it out of existence. Imagine landing somewhere so close to its sun that the sky itself feels like it's on fire. The light isn't warm, it's violent. The air ripples like molten glass, and before you even finish a breath, your suit starts to melt around you. There's no sunrise here, no cycle between day and night, just one endless blinding glare that never fades. The star looms so huge it swallows the sky, a furnace hanging right above your head. One of the worst offenders sits about 700 light-years away, a planet called TOY 849b. It orbits its star in just 18 hours, an entire year crammed into less than a day. The heat, roughly 1500 degrees Celsius, hot enough to melt iron, steel, or anything foolish enough to touch the surface. Astronomers think it used to be a gas giant, maybe something like Neptune, but its star cooked it down, peeled off every layer of hydrogen and helium until only a scorched, rocky heart remained. Standing there wouldn't feel like heat. It would feel like being erased. Your boots would fuse to the crust, your visor would liquefy, and your blood would start to boil before you could even react. But TOI 849b isn't suffering alone. There are others. Hot Jupiters, they call them. Massive gas worlds locked in suicidal orbits. Some swing around their stars closer than Mercury to ours. WASP-12b is one of them. It's so close that gravity has stretched it into an oval, like a balloon being squeezed. Every second, its atmosphere is being torn away, spiraling toward its star in a luminous tail of gas. Astronomers have actually watched it happen, watched a planet die slowly, glowing as it's eaten alive. It's a strange kind of beauty, watching light destroy the thing that reflects it.
Was trying to consume as it was dying was not another star but a planet that was next to it, very much like Jupiter. But unlike Jupiter, which is very far out in our solar system, this Jupiter was in a very short orbit around its star.
Sunlight on those worlds isn't the soft gold we know. It's white, electric, punishing. It doesn't warm your skin. It vaporizes it. A second of exposure would melt metal, strip paint from a ship, and turn human eyes to ash. Even the sky would roar, filled with plasma winds and radiation storms. If you looked up, the star wouldn't be a circle. It would be the horizon itself. These planets exist because the universe doesn't care about boundaries. Some were born farther out and slowly drifted inward, caught in the gravitational undertow of their suns until they crossed the invisible line between survival and annihilation. Others are just the bones of what once were giants, orbiting their killers like burned offerings. To scientists, they're case studies in cosmic punishment, proof of what happens when too much light becomes fatal. To us, they're reminders that proximity isn't always safety, that sometimes drawing closer to what gives you life is exactly what destroys you. If you stood there long enough to think, if you somehow survived, you'd notice the silence. No night, no shadows, no relief. Just light pressing against your skin until you forget what darkness feels like. You'd start craving shade like oxygen. You'd miss the way our sun dims when it sets. You'd realize that on some worlds, daylight isn't life, it's execution. You think the worst is over after the crushing worlds and the ones that burn you alive, but the universe still has more ways to kill. Picture landing somewhere that looks calm from orbit, soft clouds, glimmering blue atmosphere, maybe even a hint of beauty. Then you open your visor for a second and your lungs start to dissolve. That's the kind of betrayal some planets offer. Take HD 189733b for instance. From space, it looks like a sapphire wrapped in ocean-colored haze. But that blue isn't water, it's glass. Tiny silicate shards suspended in winds that move 5,000 miles an hour. It doesn't rain there, it slashes, sideways storms of molten glass carving through anything that dares exist. You wouldn't even have time to scream before you're flayed into vapor. Even our own cosmic backyard hides poison in plain sight. Venus, beautiful, bright, and utterly hostile. 90 times Earth's pressure pressing against your body, air thick with carbon dioxide and clouds of sulfuric acid. The sky smells like burning metal and death. Step outside, and the rain eats through your suit before your feet hit the ground. Your body would crumple, your eyes would boil, and you'd never even see the stars you came from. Some worlds don't stop at acid. They lace their skies with death itself. Gliese 1132b, for example, has an atmosphere filled with hydrogen cyanide, methane, and carbon monoxide. Breathing there wouldn't kill you over time. It'd kill you as you breathed. Even machines can't stand it. Probes melt, corrode, fall apart within minutes. On those planets, the enemy isn't gravity or heat. It's the air. You fight just to exist. And then there are the worlds that destroy themselves before they get the chance to destroy you. Planets so unstable that standing on them would be like balancing on a collapsing bridge. The ground quakes endlessly. The horizon bleeds red. The air trembles from heat and tension. You can feel the planet breaking beneath you, like it's trying to scream. Some, like Kepler 1520b, are already disintegrating, their rock turned to dust that trails behind them like smoke. If you were somehow standing there, you'd feel the ground pulse under your boots, each quake another heartbeat of a dying world. Even the ones that look calm aren't safe. Eccentric orbits pull and twist them apart, causing endless volcanic eruptions and earthquakes. No city could ever survive. On those worlds, the planet itself hunts you. It doesn't want guests. And beyond all that chaos lies silence. The cold kind of death, worlds adrift in space, far from any sun, orbiting failed stars or nothing at all. The temperature drops to -200 degrees. The air, if it exists, freezes solid. There's no dawn, no sound, no motion, just endless dark. Planets like OGLE 2016, BLG 1195 LB, a frozen ghost circling a dying star where the ice is kilometers deep and light never makes it through. If you walked there, your breath would crystallize before it left your mouth. Your body would slow until your own heartbeat gave up. Even the ones that try to hold on to their stars aren't merciful. Tidally locked worlds, where one side burns and the other freezes, trap whatever life they host along the razor-thin twilight line between the two. A place where one step forward is fire and one step back is ice. But even there, safety is an illusion. Their red dwarf suns erupt without warning, blasting the surface with X-rays and radiation. You'd live under a sky that wants you gone. There are planets that crush, planets that burn, planets that corrode, and planets that freeze. But the most terrifying thing about them all is that none of them are malicious. They're just being. The universe doesn't need to hate you to kill you. It only needs to keep existing. In the future, one of our probes will drift through deep space and find not paradise, but another warning, that life is rare and survival is borrowed. The James Webb Telescope has already shown us how violent other worlds can be, but what's coming next? Louvois, Habex, Roman will expose planets that make today's nightmares feel merciful. Some drift alone, rogue planets, frozen and starless, where silence feels heavier than gravity and steel snaps in the cold. Others orbit dead suns, neutron stars that burn with radiation so lethal it sterilizes everything, their light pulsing like a cosmic heartbeat. And some circle twin stars that tear their skies apart. One day scorching, the next frozen, seasons collapsing into hours. Beyond them lie worlds that shouldn't exist, planets orbiting black holes, forming in supernova dust, or made entirely of diamond and liquid iron. The deeper we look, the stranger it gets. And somewhere, out there, maybe, just maybe, one of them is waiting for us. Which of these worlds would you never visit? Tell me in the comments. And if you want part 2, planets where humans could survive, but shouldn't, type survive. Subscribe for more mysteries the universe doesn't want to explain.